In this video, we're going to be discussing the HEROES Act, otherwise known as the second round of stimulus checks, and some exciting updates that allow you to get more money, as well as a potential increase in your SNAP benefits if you receive food assistance. Hey everyone, this is Matt. Welcome back to another Blind to Billionaire video. I'm joined by my wife, Corey.
Hi.
And today is Friday, June 5th?
Yep, June 5th.
Yeah, I had to make sure I had that right. So anyway, let's get right into the information. This is exciting stuff that we have coming potentially sometime soon. So anyway, like I said, we're talking about the HEROES Act. I just want to clarify. The first round of stimulus checks was under the CARES Act, and now this second round is under the HEROES Act. So we're going to be talking about the HEROES Act. But anyway, if you're new here, please consider hitting the subscribe button. We'd love to hear from you as well down below. So the HEROES Act is proposing another round of $1,200 stimulus checks for adults in the U.S. here.
Yeah, so basically how it is yeah, so it's for adults, and it's basically different than the initial act. It's different than the CARES Act, different than the first round, because this time where you would get $1,200, if you fall in the right income brackets, which is a pretty high income, so, a lot of people will qualify.
Yeah.
And where in the first time around, if you were claimed as a dependent, you wouldn't get the stimulus check. Now you would qualify for the $1,200 stimulus check. And before, I believe you had to be 18 or older to qualify. 17 or older, and now is it 16?
That's what they're proposing.
They're proposing, and they're also proposing, instead of $500 for dependents, like children, it would be $1,200 for a dependent that you would get. Is that correct, Matt?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's being proposed.
I was going to get into it, and Corey apparently was really excited. She just jumped right in.
Oh, sorry. I thought you needed help because I thought you were struggling.
No. I was like, man, Corey must be really passionate about this.
Well, I
am. Anyway, but yeah, like Corey was saying, so we're proposing an additional $1,200 per person, and then the cool thing about the dependents is that rather than in the CARES Act, it was $500 per dependent up to 3 dependents. So the difference in the HEROES Act is that they're proposing $1,200 per dependent up to 3 dependents. So initially in the CARES Act, the max a family could get, a family of 5, so 2 adults like parents and then 3 dependents, would have been $3,900, $3,900. The cool thing about the HEROES Act is the family max now with that same family of 2 parents and 3 dependents is $6,000. So, I mean, that's a huge increase, $2,100 increase.
That's a lot.
Massive.
That's a lot.
Again, we just want to clarify, this is still just a proposal. It was already passed in the House. Now it's in the Senate. But the deal is, so this is June 5th, so we're still early in June, but it sounds like they're going to be discussing this sometime like later this month, and we could potentially look at them trying to push this through and pass it later this month or even early July. So these stimulus checks could be coming maybe as early as like late July, early August. So it's a couple months out at the earliest, I would say, based on the information that we're getting. But we just want to get this information out there because it is pretty exciting. I feel like you had something to say.
No, it is. It is exciting, and we just don't know. Even the amounts could change slightly once the bill passes. But this is just kind of what's being currently proposed.
Yeah, and of course, there's a lot more details to the whole HEROES Act than just the stimulus. But let's be honest, most of us just care about the stimulus check, right? We just want to know, like, when are we going to get more money to help us get through this tough time? But another thing, too, I want to mention, they're talking about extending the unemployment, the federal kicker of $600 through early next year. So, I mean, that's massive because technically, as of right now, that expires July 31st, the additional $600. Well, just imagine if all of a sudden everybody getting this extra $600 on unemployment, it just dries up August 1st. Well, a lot of people would be
really hard for a lot of people.
That'd be really tough. So they're discussing extending that through early next year, which would be amazing for a lot of people who are really struggling right now and need that money as well as the stimulus.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is hard. A lot of people, still are unemployed because of COVID-19 situation. The economy is just having a hard time picking back up, and we don't know if there'll be kind of a second round of the virus either. I mean, that's another thing that kind of it sounds like is amping up to potentially happen. So then it's like rats. That could take us past July 31st right. And people could still be in a job situation.
Yeah. So as I mentioned in the intro, what they're talking about in this HEROES Act, the proposal of increasing SNAP benefits. This is really cool.
I think this is what you guys have been listening for, because this is the part that I think is really interesting.
This is cool, and this is nice because people have been reaching out saying, hey, can you talk about the increase to SNAP benefits? So this is really nice. Actually, as it's been proposed, they're talking about increasing the max on SNAP benefits by 15%. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty nice raise.
That's
15%.
That's pretty good.
So yeah, apparently that would go, as it's written, it would go into effect June 1st. Well, that was a few days ago, through the end of September is what they're saying. But then they're also saying like we need to extend it even longer than that. But that's what's being proposed as of this time. So an increase to the max of SNAP benefits by 15%. And the other cool thing is if you're one of these people who receives the minimum of $15 per month, which I feel like that's like seriously people, like we need more than $15. But anyway, if you're one of the people that receives the minimum of 15, the minimum is actually increasing to 30. So it doubles the minimum, which is awesome.
And now I have two questions, Matt.
Yeah.
One is, let's talk quick. Is this just if the HEROES Act gets pushed through, the second stimulus gets pushed through, or is this separate or the same as that?
What I'm reading from the articles that I've read, it sounds like this is in the Stimulus Act. So this is as part of the HEROES Act.
Okay.
So if the HEROES Act gets pushed through, it sounds like this is part of it. So again, it might be a little while for that to be pushed through, but that's just what it's saying.
That's good to know. My other question is, what is SNAP benefits?
SNAP benefits, food assistance. Some people like to call them food stamps. That's not really what they're called anymore. It's called SNAP. That's actually an acronym. I'm not really sure what it stands for, to be honest with you. But it's an acronym that stands for something. Essentially, it is food assistance. So it helps people,
Just because we might get that question down below.
Yeah, of course. So anyway, as for the HEROES Act, of course, it's still a proposal, but what else is really cool is it extends to far more people, it reaches a lot more people, and they're actually talking about retroactive pay to those people who missed out on the first round of stimulus checks through the CARES Act. So if you did not receive one the first time through, you may get two in this second round because you might get retroactive pay. I realize it's going to be late, but lately we have to go by the saying, late is better than never, because that's kind of the deal right now is, the payments have been coming in so late, but I guess it's better than never, I guess.
I totally agree. Also, I just looked it up. SNAP is Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program.
Oh, there you go.
So, just as a sidebar.
Sure. So I want to get into just a couple concerns from the initial stimulus checks that people have been bringing up in the comments section, because I feel like this is important and I want to address it as quickly as possible. I have some notes here, and I need Corey to tell me what.
Fraudulently claimed.
Oh, yeah. Fraudulently claimed. So if you're new here, by the way, I'm blind, so my notes, I can't see my notes. I had Corey read them. But anyway, fraudulently claimed. So if you are a person who technically would be eligible to receive the stimulus check on, like the first round, the CARES Act, but you found out that you were fraudulently claimed as a dependent, what can you do? Because unfortunately, there's been a handful of people reaching out lately saying, someone claimed me as a dependent, I didn't even know it, but they got the additional money, or you know what I mean? Like
they got like the $500, right?
Yeah, whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
But you didn't get the $1,200.
Yeah, like they claim, maybe not as a dependent, but they put that person on their taxes to get the additional $1,200. My recommendation would be call the IRS, talk to an agent there, and ask how you can proceed. I'm not sure if you're completely out of luck as far as receiving the payment, but I feel like if someone fraudulently claimed you, that's not your fault. Somebody broke the law and claimed you, so I would highly recommend just calling the IRS. Now, we gave out a phone number the other day, and we've been getting comments, a handful of comments that people say the phone number is great, I talked to somebody, and other people saying the phone number is crap, I couldn't talk to anybody, it's just an automated system. So I would just recommend Google the IRS phone number. You can find it. Just type in Google IRS phone number and you'll get it.
I don't know why sometimes it works, why sometimes it doesn't work.
I would have to say it's probably based on the time of day that you're calling. So
and maybe even the call volume that's coming in
call,
when you
that's
call.
what I'm saying.
Oh,
Time
yeah,
of day,
time of day,
like
or I was
call
thinking it was
volume.
closed, or I
Just
don't
a
know.
little note, typically Mondays are the busiest. So keep that in mind. Maybe call on like a Wednesday or Thursday. So just keep that in mind. Also, one last thing that I want to talk about regarding the first round of stimulus checks is, what do I have my notes?
Money for dependents.
Money for dependents. If you're one of these people who has qualifying dependents, anyone under the age 17 that should be eligible for the additional $500 if you did not receive that money. Okay, so the IRS announced, I don't know, it's probably a month ago now, they said, we get it. We had a glitch in our system. We didn't send out the right amounts for many of you. They have not given further guidance at this time. As of right now, it's looking like you probably need to file a 2020 tax return next year in order to get that money, which is really unfortunate because you need the money now. But that's the latest information we have, so just keep that in mind. We'll definitely update you with more information as we get it, but that's what we have. So, any final thoughts?
That's it, guys. We are giving you everything we have. We don't want to give false information. We also don't want to give like false hope and say like the second stimulus is here. I mean, if somebody's told you they've received their second stimulus,
it's not
they
true.
And so you know, we just want to give the best information we can. So
and by Corey saying give you, she said like we don't want to give you false information. By the way, we're giving you only accurate information that we find online on reputable websites like Forbes.com and the IRS website, as well as SSA and Treasury. So that's where we're getting our information from.
Exactly. Well, that's all.
Yeah. Anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. I hope you can join us tomorrow. We're doing a huge giveaway on Saturday's video, so hope to see you then.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.